Welcome back to the deep dive. We are, once again, taking a huge stack of sources and trying to boil it all down into something you can actually use.
And today we are tackling what has to be the single most, the most paralyzing question for anyone interested in personal finance.
When do I press the button?
Exactly. You're sitting on some cash, maybe it's 5,000, maybe it's 50,000, and you just know you should invest it. But you are terrified.
Terrified of putting it all in today, and then boom, the market drops 20% tomorrow.
That's the fear, that immediate regret, and it leads to this temptation to try and time the market, which is almost impossible to resist.
And that's the whole psychological battlefield our sources get into today. Do you try to be a psychic, making these wild guesses, or do you find a system?
A system. That's the mission today. We're doing a deep dive into a strategy that is specifically designed to just remove that emotional guesswork. We're looking for a path to reliable long-term growth.
Through consistency and discipline, a strategy called dollar cost averaging, or DCA.
Yep. And to really get why DCA is so powerful behaviorally, we also have to look at its big rival, you could say. Just investing it all at once, the lump sum approach.
We've got a pile of investment guidance here, all focused on building wealth for the long haul. We're going to unpack the mechanics, the psychology, and importantly, the trade-offs.
And before we jump in, we have to do the quick disclaimer. Everything we talk about here, it's all for educational and informational purposes.
This is not personalized investment advice.
Right. And you have to understand that any investment decision you make carries a risk of loss. So you have to do your own research, know your own goals, and your own tolerance for risk. Past performance never guarantees future results.
Okay, got it. Let's get into it. So, first principles. Why does literally everyone warn against trying to time the market? What's the big mistake people are making? Is it really so impossible to just wait for a dip?
It's not so much about intelligence, it's really about information.
Yeah.
Or the lack of it. You just don't have the future information you'd need to predict those short-term swings. Our sources are really clear on this. They say market timing is for high-frequency traders. Or, as one of them put it, it's for people who don't know what they're doing. Because if they did, they'd already be billionaires.
That one hits hard. The sheer effort to try and predict a correction is one thing, but the risk of being wrong, of just sitting on the sidelines while the market climbs, that's often way worse than the pain of a temporary drop.
It is. So for the long-term investor, the goal isn't to win some daily lottery. The goal, and this is a direct quote, is to invest regularly and remain invested over the long term with consistency and discipline.
So we're just taking the crystal ball and throwing it away.
Completely. And that's where dollar cost averaging, or DCA, comes in. For anyone who's heard the term but isn't 100% sure what it is, can you just break it down for us?
Yeah, absolutely. DCA is actually super simple. It's defined by two things: a fixed amount of money and a fixed amount of time.
Okay.
It just means you invest the exact same, some say $500 at a regular interval, like every month, no matter what.
Regardless of whether the market seems high or low or just flat.
Exactly. So if I set up an automatic payment of, say, 200 euros into a global ETF on the first of every single month, that's DCA.
That's the perfect example. And the key instruction that goes with that transfer is no reflection, no timing, no panic. The whole system is built to just bypass your emotional brain.
And that right there, that's the first huge psychological win. That removal of anxiety, it forces a discipline that, let's be honest, most of us just don't have naturally.
Totally. It reminds me of that great analogy we found from the writer Morgan Housel. He said, investing small amounts often is like building a wall. Every brick counts.
I love that.
It just perfectly captures it, right? You're shifting your focus away from trying to find that one perfect moment to invest, which is impossible, and you're just focusing on showing up and laying that brick. Every single month. It turns investing from this stressful hunt into a simple habit.
So we've got the psychological victory. You beat the panic. But let's get into the mechanics. How does this lack of emotion actually turn into an effective strategy? Because, mathematically, if you buy high sometimes, doesn't that just give you a worse average price?
That is the million-dollar question, and this is where the core mechanical trick of DCA comes into play. It's all about smoothing your entry price.
Smoothing.
Right, because the amount of money you invest is fixed, the number of shares you buy changes depending on the price. It moves inversely.
Okay. Can you maybe walk us through that, with a simple example so we can really get it?
Yeah, of course. Let's say you commit to investing $1,000 every month.
Okay.
So in month one, the share price is $100. Your $1,000 buys you 10 shares. Simple.
Got it.
In month two, the market dips. Now the share price is only $50. Your $1,000 now gets you 20 shares.
Ah, okay. Twice as many.
Exactly. Then in month 3, maybe it recovers a bit to $80. Your $1,000 now buys 12 and a half shares.
So wait, over those 3 months, I've put in $3,000 total, and I've got, what is that, 42 and a half shares.
You got it.
Now, if I just average the prices, 100, 50, and 80, the average is about $77. But my actual cost per share, 3,000 divided by 42 and a half, it's much lower. It's more like $70.50.
Precisely. That is the magic of the fixed dollar amount. When the market falls, your scheduled purchase automatically becomes this amazing buying opportunity. You are forced to buy more when things are cheap.
Which lowers your average cost over time.
It's why in some of the source material you see those charts where the market price is this jagged line bouncing all over. But the average cost for the DCA investor is this much smoother, steadier line underneath it. It's like an anchor.
So the mechanical benefit is clear, but you're saying we have to go back to the psychology.
We have to. Because that anchoring effect, that smoothness, it just provides this incredible emotional serenity. It protects you from the two biggest portfolio killers out there, fear and greed.
And that protection is really the trade-off we're making here. We are actively choosing to optimize for our own sanity and our own consistency rather than chasing some impossible, perfect entry point.
And the fact that it's simple, that it's automated, makes it so powerful.
It just strips away all the stress. I'm thinking of that little internal thought we pulled from one of the sources about an investor called Sandra.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Her big realization was like, wait, I don't need to spend all day in front of 14 computer screens with blinking lights. Cool. I'll just set up my 200 euro DCA and go walk my dog.
And that's the real sell, isn't it? It makes investing accessible. It's perfect for anyone who wants to build wealth without turning it into a second full-time, high-stress job.
Okay, let's pivot a bit to the long-term view. Because this consistency, stretched out over decades, that's where the real power is. But we do need to talk about the downsides, the statistical reality checks.
Yes, this is where it gets really interesting.
So the long game, time plus DCA equals the real returns. We're talking about that snowball effect, right? Compounding interest.
Exactly. DCA just ensures your money is always getting into the market. It maximizes the amount of time that your returns have to generate more returns.
And crucially, it guarantees that you're there for the best days.
Yes. Market history shows that if you miss just a handful of the best performing days over, say, 20 years, your overall return is just destroyed. DCA means you are always in the game, ready for those huge, sudden rebounds.
Okay, but this brings us straight to the big trade-off. We have to be really honest about the nuances here. DCA is, behaviorally better for most people, but it's not always mathematically the best.
It is not, and this is a critical distinction.
So we have to talk about the elephant in the room here, right?
Okay.
Lump sum investing. If I have a big pile of cash today, the sources say that statistically, I'm often better off just putting it all in at once. Why is that?
It's because of the market's general long-term trend. Over time, it goes up more than it goes down. So every month you hold cash back to do your DCA, you're potentially missing out on market gains.
So the lump sum gets your entire army of capital working in compounding from day one.
From day one. That's a really tough pill for DCA fans to swallow. You're basically choosing a strategy of loss aversion. You're trading potentially higher gains for the certainty of not buying right at a temporary peak.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's about risk management and just being able to sleep at night. But yeah, DCA is, by its nature, slower to start.
And that leads to the next potential problem. Frustration.
In a bull market.
A big, roaring bull market. If the market is just on a tear for 10 years, which happens, the DCA investor can look back and feel this deep regret.
Yeah.
They might feel like they were always buying more expensively.
They sacrificed those early big gains for peace of mind they never ended up needing during that run.
And that feeling of regret is real. The rigidity of the system can feel like a penalty when everything is going up.
Okay, let's talk about that rigidity. We've been praising it. But can it also be a weakness? What about the lack of flexibility?
It absolutely can. A purely mechanical DCA strategy might force you to ignore really big, obvious macroeconomic signals.
Right.
Well, if you see clear flashing red lights, a huge recession is obviously coming, a global crisis is unfolding, a human might decide to, pause or even accelerate their investing. DCA just marches on, regardless of the context. It's a tool that lacks judgment.
And my big fear with automation is always the risk of neglect. If it's set it and forget it, how do you stop yourself from just forgetting what you even own?
This is a huge threat. The sources were really clear on this. While the timing can be automated, understanding the investments is still essential. You have to
Yeah.
check in, review your portfolio, and make sure it's still aligned with your goals.
So just because the when to buy is automated doesn't mean the what to buy becomes irrelevant.
Not at all.
Okay, final fear. The classic new investor nightmare. What if I start my DCA plan today and the market crashes next week?
That initial pain is, well, it's unavoidable. Your first 200 euros might lose half its value overnight. That feels terrible.
Yeah, it would.
But the beauty of the system is that the risk is immediately counteracted. That crash just means your very next payment buys shares at a 50% discount. The system forces you to take advantage of the dip before the rebound. It turns that crash into a long-term win.
So wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for you, the listener? We've put this statistical champion, lump sum, against the behavioral champion, dollar cost averaging.
I think the main point is that DCA is a strategy that puts psychology first. It prioritizes consistency over prediction. It's the practical, realistic choice for the everyday person who knows they can't time the market and just doesn't want the stress of trying.
It stops you from getting paralyzed while you wait for that perfect moment that never actually comes.
Right. And I love that one analogy we found, that
Yeah.
DCA is the gym of investment.
Oh, that's the one.
It's regular, it's discreet, but it is formidably effective.
Yeah.
Every single month, you're just laying one more brick, and then one day you look up, and the wall is there.
It's that slow, steady commitment that builds real wealth.
And, as we finish up, I think we have to circle back to that bit of wisdom from Charlie Munger. Take ideas where they are, but use your own brain to put them together. DCA is a fantastic idea, a great tool for consistency, but you still have to align it with your own goals, your own time horizon, and your own comfort with risk. Those things are unique to you, and they have to be the final guide.
Absolutely essential advice. And if this deep dive has maybe inspired you to move toward that idea of buying back your own freedom through consistent, disciplined investing, please comment below with the word freedom.
And if you enjoyed learning how to master investment timing with discipline, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. That way you won't miss our next deep dive into the sources that matter.
We'll see you next time.